Hello guys, and welcome to Zolder for another edition in this Project Cars Formula A career. This is going to be the 14th race of the season out of 19 races, meaning the season is ever so slightly starting to draw to a bit of a close here, and we are really approaching crunch time here. We have a fairly comfortable lead in the championship standings here so far, but nothing that couldn't be completely erased if we mess up badly here in the remaining 5 races. Zolder is not a track that I know very well. I'm not very familiar with it. I've raced here before, obviously, but this is not a track that I expect much from. I hope to be competitive, but I really don't know what to expect here. So we're just going to have to wait and see where this qualifying session takes us. Jumping straight to the business at hand, this is going to be our first lap here in the qualifying session, having finished our out lap. And again, the pit is going all nuts about us not cooling the brakes properly here. I really think this, I'm starting to think this is a bug here in patch 4, but I'm not really sure. But the fact remains is I pretty much have my brake duct up to 60% open right now, and I am still overheating the brakes apparently here. I'm really not sure what to do, to be perfectly honest here. But coming out on the finishing straight, like I said, this is going to be our first lap. It'll be interesting to see just whether or not we're being competitive here today. And lo and behold, P18. Ouch. Yeah, I think we probably need to stay out for an additional lap here, see if we can improve on that. Lap 2, almost 3.5 seconds slower than our first lap here. Had a little bit of a spin there, didn't go fully off track there, but obviously that pretty much killed our lap. And I don't think we have much choice here. We need to stay out, as we're down in P19 right now, need to stay out for an additional lap here. This is probably, looking at the fuel load here, I think we probably have 2 laps left in this load here, so hopefully this is going to be doable. This is our first intermediate time. The fact that we're slower right now doesn't really matter because the spin happened in the chicane here. We're coming up to the Villeneuve chicane. We lost the back end on the prior lap there. Just got a little bit too much of the curb there and a little too hard on the throttle, and that pretty much sent us around a little bit there. But managing to navigate it properly this time. And as you can see there, currently we are setting the best Sector 2 time of the day. So by the looks of it here, this particular lap appears to be very fast indeed. Coming up on the final chicane here, the entry into the chicane is not very difficult there, but it's very easy to get too much of the curb on the exit there, and that curb is a lot higher than it looks, so that can really cost you there. Almost taking off a full second of our best time here so far, and that is a provisional pole. I don't think we have anything left in us here, so I think this is probably where we're going to be calling it quits for today. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not this does hold up for the race. It does indeed. Javier Lopez starting right behind us there. Christian Borgens, the man of consistency himself, starting 3rd. And our teammate Fabio there is actually showing his ugly muck this weekend here. He's starting 7th on the grid there, so there might be a chance of both Auto Rebel cars actually scoring some points there. And Sasha Schutz, who is currently 2nd in the championship, is way down in 9th. That's good news. So here we are getting ready for the start. Nice sunny conditions here. It does not appear that we're going to be seeing any rain today. Let's hope it stays that way. Need to get a great start here into the first corner as the number 1 car, as always here. And we do get a great start here for once. Javier Lopez obviously having the inside line there, but we managed to cut him off here heading into turn 1. Lots of jostling and somebody spinning way off track there coming out of turn 1 as we head into turn 2. We have the worst of it behind us there, so we're not getting tangled up with anyone. That is definitely a positive here. And coming out of turn 4, out onto the short straight into the that little chicane there in turn 5 here, coming up by the end of the straight here. This is the turn 5 chicane here. We actually have a nice little gap of almost a full second down to Javier Lopez there. So a very nice start for us, and hopefully we can keep this momentum going. Coming through the Villeneuve chicane here, taking things a little easy. Like I said, we did spin here during qualifying, and if you get a little bit too much of the curb and kick the throttle a little too soon there, you have a very good chance of ending up off track at best here, because obviously when you have a complete train of cars coming up behind you there's a very good chance that you're going to be putting yourself out of the race if you end up pretty much parked sideways on the track there. Anyway, currently looking pretty good here as we head through the final chicane here, coming out on the main straight. Nice exit here using all of the track, and As you can see there, Javier Lopez is actually right on our gearbox right now. So lap 1 status, we are still leading the race here, but we are by no means pulling away from anyone. Jumping right ahead to lap 5 here, the situation pretty much remains the same. Javier Lopez still in P2, about half a second down on us right now, and it's pretty much been the same situation as you saw there on lap 1. We have sectors of the track there where we are faster than the AI, and while we're taking it a little bit easy in some of the low-speed corners there, it appears that the AI are actually catching up on us in those particular turns. So it would appear that we are running a setup with a lot less wing than the AI seem to be running on this particular track. Obviously, we could have gone with a setup with a lot more downforce, a lot more drag, but the setup felt good during practice. It felt good during qualifying there, so we really didn't see much reason to change anything at the time there. But as you can see, currently, the AI are definitely matching us here. Skipping right ahead to lap 8 here, again, no change here overall. Javier Lopez running a little bit wide there in the right-hand turn. We only have a gap of about 0.8 of a second down to Javier Lopez currently, and that'll kind of fluctuate depending on where we are on the lap there. It'll go between something like a second and a half and half a second, but it remains constant, and we are currently pretty much setting identical lap times I would expect. No time for mistakes right now. Jumping ahead to lap 18 here, not entirely unexpected. The AI tires are now starting to show a little bit of wear. At least that's what I think is happening, because we are currently opening up a nice little gap down to the P2 car. Still Javier Lopez in P2 of about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds here. And considering what we've had so far in this race, that's a gap we're talking about. And jumping ahead to lap 21 here, our own tires have started to show quite a bit of wear. Not physically, so to speak. If you look at the tire indicators, there appeared to be lots of life left in them there, but we started to put in some pretty lousy lap times there. We're really suffering in some of the turns, so we are coming in and trying for a little bit of an undercut here. Hopefully that's going to be working out in the end. And by Project Car standards, that was actually a pretty quick pit stop there. But as you can see, they're out on the main straight. Everything is still really bunched up. It's very close indeed. So we are going to be ending up completely at the back of the racer. We're going to be rejoining the track in P22. So I definitely hope the AI are going to be coming in and making their change of tires pretty soon there. What I am slightly worried about, however, is the fact that we have 30 laps remaining in the race here, and given the current state of our tires before we actually went into change, I'm kind of doubting if the tires are going to be holding up for the remaining 30 laps here. That remains to be seen. Anyway, lap 23 here, we have several cars in the pits on this particular lap. What is going to be interesting is how far up the pack are we going to be making it here? Is our undercut going to work, in other words? And we definitely have a couple of cars here coming out of the pits right ahead of us. So apparently that undercut did not work. This is indeed Javier Lopez and Christian Borgens right ahead of us there. Christian Borgens almost losing the car there. He's on cold tires, obviously. So I guess if we are going to mount an attack, it really needs to be on this lap here when he's still going to be struggling with those cold tires there.
High speed stuff, it's just the tight corners.
Skipping right ahead to lap 25 here, getting a little bit too much of the curb here in the final chicane. That's what I was talking about. You get too much of the curb there, you pretty much end up flying. That curb is a lot higher than it actually looks. We end up losing some time there to Christian Borgens there. That's not going to help us out that much here. We have cars in the pits, and we are now up into P3, which is our real position at this time of the race here. Skipping to lap 28 here, Christian Borgens and Javier Lopez, the number 1 and 2 cars in this race currently, are really putting the hammer down at this point, pulling out a nice gap down to us of almost 5 seconds right now. And we really don't seem to have an answer for that at this point. Also, we are having to fend off Marcus Larson, who is currently in P4, putting us under all sorts of pressure here. And hopefully we're going to find a way to regain our pace later in the race here, but currently we are struggling for speed.
Covering the inside line.
Skipping ahead to lap 44 here, our tires are starting to go off yet again here. We've opened up a nice gap down to Marcus Larson there, but look what happens coming through the chicane there. We lose the car, end up spinning, losing a couple of positions here. 3 cars passing as we are way down into P6, and obviously we need to go in and make a second pit stop here. The only question is, what are the AI going to be doing here? Because I doubt these guys are going to be coming in for a second stop. I really think this is going to be hurting us here, and I'm not sure whether or not we're going to be able to score any points here today. Probably should have been taking a little bit better care of our tires there when we were trying to chase down the number 1 and 2 cars there, but not too much we can do about this right now. And also an electrical failure in the engine there, not helping out. What is this, Britain? Oh, man. All right, dead last. 6 laps remaining. This is going to be a nail biter. Not. And also losing the car here coming out of the pits. Man, this is just not my day. Skipping right ahead to lap 47 here. Good news for us. As you can see here, we have cars in the pits. Rafael Klapczynski seems to be exiting the pits right now as we are passing him, meaning the AI are definitely going to come in for a second stop as well here. So that is definitely good news. Maybe, just maybe, we might be able to score some points here today after all.
Stay sharp.
Lap 49 here, making up all kinds of positions again here. Sasha Schutz coming out right ahead of us there. This is Laszlo Illy's right in front of us there. He's on dead cold tires. We take the opportunity to go down the inside there and advance another spot. Currently in P12, only 2 spots out of the points here.
Overtake and brake. Good lap. That's your fastest lap so far today.
Jumping straight ahead to lap 50, several more cars in the pits at this point, making their second stop as we are up into P9 now. And it appears that Tim Allen just makes it out right ahead of us here. But again, he's on cold tires. We might have a shot of actually passing him on this lap here, but we need to do it fast. We only have 1 lap remaining aside from this one.
Come on, you can take him.
And opening the DRS, flicking on the curves here, we make the move into the turn 5 chicane here, no problem whatsoever. Tim Allen on his cold tires are no match for us at this point as we are into P8.
Your brakes are overheating. Just get back on it.
Jumping to lap 51, having passed yet another car in the pits here. We are up into P7 right now, trying to chase down our teammate Fabio there, who's currently in P6. I am running a little wide here into turn 3. I don't really see it happening. I gotta admit, he's way too far ahead of us at this point here, and we are gonna be finishing the race here at Zolder today in P7. And I have to say, all things considered, if you'd have told me that we would have been finishing 7th before the race, I probably would have taken that and been happy with it. But I still think that we probably should have gotten the podium finish here today. Made one mistake, and we ended up paying for that, so I guess that's all right. And the championship standings here, we are still leading that category, 185 points. Sasha Schutz still in second, 94 points. But sharing that place right now with Christian Borgens, the man of consistency himself, also with 94 points here. All right. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to this channel for more Project Cars action. And I'll be back soon enough. Bye-bye.